Hey guys, this is a new room I'm working on. It's still a bit of a work in progress, but it's just sort of, I would call it a chill out room, maybe a sunroom. It's four seasons, heated, cooled, things like that. And I'm really just enjoying it for another place to listen to music, watch a little TV. I've got this 42-inch LG OLED in here, and it's kind of on this cool easel stand. It has storage behind it, cleans everything up really nice. That's kind of fun, and it doesn't block out my view, which is one of the best parts of this room. It's such a nice little room that you can sit in to start your day with, have some coffee, maybe you want to end your day with something a little more refreshing. Maybe catch up on some tunes on the Buchard A10s, which I still have on loan. Not looking forward to sending those back, but my days are likely numbered there soon. If you're watching this, Mads Buchard, pretend you didn't. I'm actually kidding. He's actually a great guy to work with, and that's the owner over at Buchard Audio. He often lets me demo the gear for an extended amount of time after I'm done with the review. Then I have to send it back to Denmark. I did just finish installing these new shelves. I think they're really cool. They fit the vibe of the room really well. But it turns out if you install shelves, you actually have to start filling them with something. So I'll have to, proceed on that a little bit further. I have a little ways to go in this room. But what I do have today in this room is these new Valencia Tuscany Ultimate Edition chairs. And these were sent graciously enough to me out for review. Full disclosure, they did tell me that I get to keep these, but that doesn't really change anything for me. They didn't give me any rules, talking points on the review, anything like that. They're not asking to review my review before I put it out. So all thoughts and opinions are going to be my own today. What we're going to cover today on this one is the features, the usability, my general thoughts, and anything I feel like could be improved upon. This is more an initial thoughts since I've only had these for about 2-3 weeks, so it's going to give you a good idea on what to expect when these arrive. Like I mentioned, this is the Tuscany Ultimate Edition. It's one of their more premium models, but if you check out their website, they have a whole host of options, priced at all different levels really. I've been watching the site for a while now, and I've noticed that they run a lot of different sales on their products, so if you have something in mind, maybe just start keeping an eye on it and watch for the best deal. The leather quality is probably what I noticed first on these. It's a semi-aniline Italian Napa leather, which basically means it has a light protective layer that gives it more of a uniform color, as well as enhances durability for things like your four-legged friends. And it's actually on all of the seat surfaces, not one of those deals where they give you real leather where you can feel it, and then sew in some imitation vinyl everywhere else. The finish is really nice on these. It's a matte finish, not the cheaper looking shiny types that have that plastic look. And from what I've experienced so far, it doesn't seem to be so likely to be sticky on bare legs like some of those kind of leathers are. And that could be because of the perforations throughout it. Maybe it's just allowing a bit more airflow. That's just kind of my guess though. The stitch quality looks pretty good. We have this diamond stitching through the seating area as well as the sides. In general, the leather looks good, smells good, and has a really soft feel, which is why I was a bit surprised when they also said it was intentionally crafted to resist pet scratches. They actually say it's basically scratch proof. I'm not too worried about my pets, but how about a 7, 5, and 3-year-old? Am I right? Going beyond the looks over to some of the features, first we have a cup holder, and that's not too wild, right? But it can be if you decide to turn on the Fast and Furious lighting on this one. You can cycle between 7 colors that light up the cup holders, as well as underneath. I bet you never knew you needed underglow for your chair. Well, honestly, I really don't, but the kids do love it, and it can easily be turned off completely from the control panel. Getting back to the cup holder though, what's really nice is spills and messes can clean up really easy because you can just pull these out and give them a quick wash. It's sort of a black chrome look, which I'm glad they went with over a traditional chrome as far as the looks department goes. A full-on chrome would have been a bit blinding here with the LEDs on. The storage on these is kind of out of this world. I really wasn't expecting it. I think I lost 2 of my 3 kids in these already. Each has a velvet-lined storage area that can easily store anything from your favorite treats, magazines, remotes, maybe even serve as a garage addition. It's honestly feels like it's that big. These storage cubbies are also the perfect spot to store away your accessories for these. The white circles in the front here that look like there might be some sort of special button are actually for connecting the table trays, tablet, phone holders, drink holders, even popcorn bowls. They have a lot of pretty cool accessories, and I think they make a great addition to these. My only gripe would be to change the mounts to black so they'd blend in a little bit more with the chairs rather than this white plastic. Taking a look at the control panel, the first series of buttons handles the recline features. The second is for lumbar support, which is surprisingly probably one of my favorite features on this chair. I spent around 10 years training in powerlifting and still do a lot today, and one thing that really needs a bit more support some days is my back. The third set of buttons is for controlling the headrest. These can come in useful when you want to recline back, but still want support for either watching a movie or listening to some 2-channel. It gives you just enough so that you could really put these all the way back, even at a full recline, and it can give you enough support that you can still watch a screen really comfortably or listen to some music. This next button is a memory preset, so you can just set the chair to your position and hold it for a few seconds. You'll get a beep and you're good to go. That way it's kind of nice that you can come back to your chair, you can just hit that button, have it just where you want it, and you don't really have to, fiddle with all these controls, because there tends to be quite a few controls here. So it's pretty typical you're gonna have one spot that's kind of gonna be the go-to. Maybe it's your TV watching spot, things like that. So I really like that feature. And then the final button, that one is a dual purpose, and it cycles the lights. It moves through the 7 colors, or puts it in what I call rave mode. It's a bit much for myself, but like I said, the kids do love it, and I get it. It's kind of cool for the home theater environment as well. My kids refer to this mode as rainbow mode. They really like that one. Myself, it's okay. A long hold on this button will reset the seat position back to its original config. You likely noticed a couple charging options too. It's good to see USB-C as well as the original standard USB-A on these. Phones, tablets, remotes, pretty much everything needs to be charged these days, so it's really nice to just have it all in your chair right here. And you can easily put your cables within, the endless amounts of storage that these have. As far as how this one sits, I would say it's a medium to firm bottom, which I would say is a good thing. It feels like it has a decent amount of support there. The really soft chairs might be comfortable at first, but they can wear out their welcome if it turns into something too soft and it just kind of turns into a non-supportive mess. So I generally prefer something around this level, since it's likely going to loosen up as this one ages. And it'll probably fall right into the sweet spot where I want it. The rest of it feels like it has adequate padding. Nothing is sticking out to me as an area of concern right now as far as how this one sits. On the topic of how this one sits, that's on a whole different front, is how far away does it have to sit from the wall, which is important for a lot of people that don't have these in like a wide open home theater space. And with these ones, the good news is the actual bottom of the chair will slide out first, and then it reclines and it frees up a little more space. So you can actually have this one about 6 inches from the wall. That's where I found it to be a good spot, and made sure that there was no contact with the wall in a full recline. And while we're looking at the back on this one, the Ultimate Edition has an actual leather hardplate to cover the rear. These are often just a loose piece of fabric in a lot of the other couches I own, and sometimes it just velcros into place. This has an actual cover that gives it a nice finished look. It won't really matter in my placement here, since the rear won't be visible against a wall, but it's something that could be important to you if you have these in a home theater and the backs are going to be visible to everyone, because you might have rows of these type of chairs. Hiding behind this plate is a detachable power cord for each chair, going into this switchable power input. The upper chair releases so you can detach it from the top half, as well as these locking power connections to link the controls and the power. I do wish we only had to have one power cord for this, but you are going to need 2 here. You could simplify this where you could have a power strip in the back, both going into one, and then just plugging into the wall with a single plug. That's probably what I would do in this case. As for any changes that I would make on these, I have a couple thoughts, but nothing too major, honestly. Like I mentioned, I'd change out this white attachment point for black so that it blends into the furniture a bit better. And I'd also add maybe a dimmer to the lights. It might make them a little bit more likely to be used by someone like myself. If I could select if I wanted to turn off the cup holder, for example, that would even be better, and just have the underglow coming out the bottom. I think that would be great, and it'd feel more like an ambient light mode. Something like that would be kind of nice, because it's kind of nice to have a little bit of ambient light when you're watching a TV or a movie, things like that. I basically just don't want anything distracting, and I do realize I can just turn these off, so that's fine too. It's a really simple solution, and it's just a double click away to turn the lights off. But I'm just thinking out loud on some of these configurations on what I would do with these chairs and how I would use them in my space. All in all, I think those are pretty minor things that I'm talking about on this, and the really important things like the comfort of the actual chair and the build quality, to me they seem like they're really good so far. I obviously haven't had any issues yet, only having them for about 2-3 weeks, but I don't have any reason right now to think that these won't hold up. I think they're really good chairs, honestly. Anyone who's came into my house and have seen them has also said, wow, the quality on that leather was really surprising to them. They actually feel really nice. So when these 2 chairs arrived off the truck, they somehow arrive in 2 large but semi-manageable boxes. Everything was packed really nicely, extra protections where anything might be vulnerable. So if you're concerned about these actually arriving safe through the mail, in my experience, you're going to be fine. Bonus, the boxes serve as excellent forts for the kids too. I still haven't had the heart to tear them down and throw them out yet, but if Valencia needs any box designers, I have a few of them here. I do realize that these aren't going to be priced for everyone, but if you're interested in a chair like this, they have a variety of different models and seem to run sales pretty frequently, like I said. So there's deals to be had if you keep an eye on it. My initial thoughts are it's a really high quality chair, great leather, smooth operating features, comfort is in line with my preferences, and enough storage that you could rent out the space. Thanks for watching today. Maybe down the road I'll follow up again with these and see how they perform in 6 or 12 months. You know, see if there's any issues, things like that come up. I might have some more changes that I think would be good on these. We'll see what happens. I know this is a little bit of a change of pace from my usual where I'm doing, amps, speakers, builds, things like that. But it's important to cover this stuff too. A lot of people look into chairs for home theaters, things like that, or even music rooms like I'm using this today. So maybe down the road I'll follow up again and see how they perform in 6 to 12 months. See if there's been any problems that come up, if I've had to reach out to support, anything like that. But right now, everything looks good. If you guys could, please like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it, and it helps me to push my videos out to a wider audience. I appreciate everything you guys have done so far. It makes all the difference. I'll talk to you soon. See ya.